The world's changing really fast. So I think you need to surround yourself with other movers and shakers simply just to keep up. Not even to like grow like crazy, but to keep up with the change and then not get kind of lost because there are a lot of things that can help your business that you might not be doing because you haven't talked to the right person or somebody that's actually doing it.
What's up, everybody? Live here from Southgate, finished up here in rehab. That's actually about to be sold. We actually are just coming from Joshua Tree.
Yeah, I couldn't find my profile picture, so I'm using yours, but good to see you, Alex. How are you, man?
Amazing. How are you, buddy?
And Joshua Tree, obviously a cool time up there, kind of doing something a little bit different than what you normally do with the flips, right? This is going to be a little bit more of a longer term hold. So really kind of interesting to get up there and see that property in person.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second time that I've been there. I know you've been there more times than I have. We got the deal by working with one of our tribe members, which is exciting because we've been doing this webinar to give back to the community of real estate investing. We're building our tribe and just trying to help each other out and to partner up on a deal with one of the tribe members, Kayvon. Shout out to him because he came to you, brought the deal. You helped him and try to navigate through that. But through your discussion with him, you figured, hey, this is a better deal if we just do a joint venture together. And I'm thinking, we're Joshua Tree, I don't know. And then I looked over numbers, vetted the deal, talked to a couple other investors. And sure enough, we put the deal together and it's a monster deal. It's going to have a lot of cash flow.
And I think that's, something that you kind of have to wrestle with, right, Alex, is do you want to go outside of your comfort zone, outside of your box? The niches, the riches are in the niches, right? And we kind of have a box that we focus on here in Los Angeles. But it doesn't mean that, again, if a deal presents itself, it does make sense and is equitable for all the partners involved, and it still might be something that you want to take a look at and potentially take down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I learned that from the first mentor that I worked for. He had his business model, his purchasing criteria was he just wanted a deep discount anywhere in Southern California. So he didn't care where it was. I remember the project manager that was working for us, Hector, I think his name was. He was driving from like Palm Springs to Canoga Park, that's South LA, because the properties were pretty much everywhere. I don't know if I really would love to have the same business model because we concentrate a lot of our deals in like, for example, in LA County. But what I took from that was you shouldn't be scared to go somewhere farther out if the numbers make sense and you're able to vet them and take that deal down. Doesn't matter kind of where it's at, as long as it really makes sense, like go for it.
99% of our decisions are business decisions, right? It's not like we're buying into a house because we like the way it looks compared to another one. It's, hey, business-wise, this deal makes sense, right? We looked at the numbers, we kind of vetted it, underwrote the file and determined, hey, by all means, we think that we can make this much money on this deal. And although it's outside of our box, it doesn't take much bandwidth for us to kind of add that onto the portfolio, and definitely a project that I'm happy we took down.
Yeah, for sure.
So guys, I know this week is our open house, which is really fun. This is one of my favorite, webinars that we get to do on a weekly basis. But before we jump in and, welcome all of our deal makers onto the screen and, kind of connect and network a little bit here real quick. Just wanted to ask a couple quick questions for you guys and, kind of get some feedback and give you a brief update on what's kind of been going on with us and with business and what's kind of going on. So Alex, you're in Los Angeles now, but why don't you let everybody know what happened last week, where you were at, and what's been kind of going on with you?
Yeah, so first I want to say sorry, guys. I wasn't able to make last week's webinar. First one I missed after about 27 weeks, I believe. So my sincere apologies, but my travel plans, it just did not coordinate. There was only a couple of options. And so I was able to put it in Will's hands, and like with everything else, he just ran with it. So I'm glad that we had 3 amazing guests last week with the people that we had on. And then, so today, we're in Southgate. Just we had to stop in here. We didn't have time to go all the way back to Playa Vista, where you're at, Will, and Marina Del Rey, where I'm staying at. But last week we went to the Future Flipper Q2 Mastermind, where we got to connect with a much larger group of people. It's growing. It's, I think, now 120 students in the program. and 80 of them went. A lot of them I didn't know personally. I hadn't met in person. You hadn't met in person. So this is our third mastermind as a team to going together over there. And although I've said this before, and with no offense to anybody, I do not like Las Vegas. It's not a city I like spending time in. Just not my cup of tea. And so it's funny because I didn't feel that well on that Thursday when the day after I flew in on that Wednesday night, and then I had to take another COVID test, ended up being negative, and then I felt great the following day on Friday, and really got to enjoy that Friday at the mastermind and learn a lot. I think they just echoed like how important having a social media presence or somebody in your team working on the social media. It is not going away. It's the business card. It's a new resume. You guys have to be on it, sharing the journey, networking with other people. And then just the power of being around a bunch of other students and or investors and, that are there taking deals down actively. It's not like I need a lot of inspiration, but people inspiring me that are like, say, for example, much younger than me, and they're completely crushing it, or they're doing something in a different market, or I've seen them scale a lot in the last, it's been a year now that I've been in the program. So I'm like, damn, like I remember what that person was doing last year. I remember what I was doing last year. And so, we spent a couple of days there, and then I came back, got to spend some time, with my brother over in Marina Del Rey on the boats and the yachts. I always have a great time there. So it's never a bad time to be on the water. And now we've looked at some projects early this week. Been working on a bunch of stuff. We just bought the La Quinta property. Shout out to Nick Mobley. He's been a tribe member as well. So that's a second tribe member that we're now aligning ourselves with. We're joining, we're doing a joint venture with. And basically it's through this just organic growth of this tribe of us working together. And then you guys taking action. We're taking action constantly, and then just lining up and working together to put these deals together. As we know, they're not easy to come by. So yeah, that's what the update. I'm excited. I'll be in Maui next week. I'll be here till I'd say Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So let's I know I have a hike kind of a meetup coming up. My birthday's on Saturday. It's a big party downtown LA. So that's kind of what's up.
And guys, I think it's super cool that Alex was able to kind of pass the baton down and let us keep doing the webinar last week without him, and appreciate everybody kind of tuning in and being a part of the webinar last week. What we'll do this week, as Alex kind of alluded to, is we are going to do an in-person meetup, and I'm actually going to just put out a quick poll question right now to you guys, just to get an idea. What's your appetite like currently for in-person meetups? Is this something that you're still kind of waiting a little bit to make sure that everything's safe and everything's good to go? Or, are you guys here in the room, or are you guys anxious to get out there, get out in person, meet some other investors and kind of do some in-person networking? So we'll wait for this poll question to kind of continue finishing up. And then in the meantime, I just wanted to give a couple of quick updates on what's been kind of going on with Alex. We actually had him on the Weekly Juice podcast last week, and he got to kind of chop it up with those guys. What was that like, Alex?
Oh, it was awesome because those guys are great interviewers. I guess, I'm sorry, I can't even say the word. And when I get to tell my story in a longer format like that, or they have more in-depth questions, I always enjoy that because I've sure as hell learned a lot in the last 4 years working in real estate investing, and then being able to share with maybe a different audience of people that I might not be exposed to. I'm always grateful for that, and always give them everything I can. And they asked me some great questions. We covered, pretty much where I'm at today. I think a lot of people are interested in the fact that we're doing deals in California and Hawaii, and so they're constantly asking about how we're doing deals there, and it was fun. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of other podcasts coming up as well. I know you're going to be recording with Ryan Pineda coming up here pretty soon, which is, really exciting. I know he's one of our mentors, but also somebody who's equal part mentor and equal part cheerleader, right? I mean, he cheers us on just as much as the next person, and is excited to see when the business grows and when the business sees wins. And, the business is seeing a lot of growth and a lot of wins right now. So I think that'll be really exciting to kind of get on there with Ryan and talk with him and his network as well.
Yeah, agreed, dude. Agreed.
And I think we also have a takeover happening tomorrow. So Alex is going to be doing a takeover on the like-minded real estate investors page. So that should be pretty cool as well. You guys are going to be able to kind of get an inside view of what goes on in a day of Alex's life. I know you guys get to see a lot of that here on the webinar. Alex is pretty transparent, but it should be pretty cool to, again, kind of grow that network and you know, show what Alex is kind of doing on a daily basis, right?
Yes, sir.
So Alex, coming up here, we're talking about networking. And I know networking has been a big part of your business. You mentioned earlier, you know, taking down this deal because of networking, being on those podcasts and growing your network. What is like the importance of masterminding in terms of networking? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think mastermind's a little bit different because networking sometimes it's just meeting new people, but when it comes to like masterminding, it's a bit more of like poking holes and asking more specific questions about what people are working on, and then having just being an open book to that because the more you share, the more that the other people are willing to share. And I found that doesn't matter what level I'm at, whether I'm just kind of starting out getting some deal flow consistency, or I started already to scale, or working on some bigger deals, or working on growing the team. All those things, you guys, have difficulties to them and problems that other people have already figured out, other investors, or they have other feedback based on having more experience that can help you out. And so that's what I consider masterminding, is being around those people that are already kind of in the game, and then you guys are just comparing game film or comparing notes with each other and saying, hey, what's working for you, what's not working for you, and then just getting different perspectives. I mean, I have these conversations with other investors all the time because I don't have this whole thing figured out. I simply just have some of it figured out, and I'm sharing that part of it because I'm not a fan of sharing something that you don't know. I'm sharing what I do know, what has worked for us, and what is working for us, and what's not working for us. So that's what mastermind really comes out to me, is like that consistent, because some people have even told me too that maybe they might go to mastermind and then they might not go to anything else for like another couple of years. They fall off track. Kind of what's working right now. The world's changing really fast, so I think you need to surround yourself with other movers and shakers simply just to keep up. Not even to like grow like crazy, but to keep up with the change and then not get kind of lost because there are a lot of things that can help your business that you might not be doing because you haven't talked to the right person or somebody that's actually doing it.
And you nailed it. Somebody who's actually doing it. A lot of times when you join a network or a mastermind, like you can find other people that are doing the exact same thing that you're having issues with. And I know that was my biggest takeaway from the mastermind this past weekend was, look, if you look in this room, between the people that are in this Ask Alex webinar, the people that are in our network that are on the Facebook group, if you need something done, somebody in that group has already done it and already knows how to do it well. You have the Edwards that are out there, offering to grab leads for people online. You have, the people that are in the group that are, sharing their comments and their wins so that other people can get fired up about that kind of stuff. And that's really what I kind of take away from the mastermind experiences is you're networking with other really powerful investors, but those are powerful investors that are also going to have challenges and that can also help you with your challenges. So I think it's really a kind of, I guess how would you even pronounce that? Like synchronous relationship where you're kind of all going circular and able to kind of help each other out. So I'm a big fan of the mastermind and appreciative of the opportunity to get to go out there for the third time now.
Yeah.
So speaking of masterminds, and getting together and doing some meetups in person, as Alex alluded to, we are going to be doing a hike this weekend on Saturday, and we'll have the flyer posted for you guys in the Facebook group. Exactly, it's a quote hike, as you guys learned from going with Alex. A lot of times hikes will turn into running on the trails and kind of getting things done a little bit quicker. So it should be a fun time, and we're excited to see some of your familiar faces out there this weekend on Saturday. Alex's birthday as well, so pretty cool of him to get back and spend some time with us.
Yeah, it should be fun. Last one we had was cool. We had, I think, about 17, 18 people come out. We got up there in Griffith Park, so it's going to be something similar. Where we're going to pick a destination, We'll give you guys the address. It is my birthday on Saturday, so gonna get that hike in, and then likely gonna go out on the boat with my brother and some friends, and then likely doing some type of other event in the evening at downtown LA. But I'm just celebrating life, and I want to, I don't care if it's a Saturday. I had a great time last time we did it, and I felt like we really connected on a deep level with a bunch of wholesalers, other investors in LA, and I enjoyed it because it's like combining two passions of mine, which is real estate investing and/or trail running and getting out there in the mountains, getting some views and getting some exercise in. So, come on, guys, come out. Let's get healthy as well as getting wealthy.
Health is your wealth. So yeah, again, I think it was really cool to get out there. I've personally gone and reviewed deals with multiple people that came out on the last hike. They realized, hey, we have some alignment here. I might be looking at some deals that are right up your alley, and vice versa, where it was like, hey, we might have looked at a deal that we didn't want to, take advantage of the opportunity, but might be right up your alley. So I think, again, coming out and doing that hike, it's fun because it gets you out of your element and into something you're used to doing, which is, being healthy and going out and enjoying some exercise, but at the same time, get to talk to some really high level investors who are out there as well. So cool stuff there, Alex. What we're going to do now is go ahead and welcome everybody else onto the screen like normal, and kind of give everybody a chance to network, learn a little bit more about each other, and just kind of generally get some more face time here with the tribe.
Yeah, let's go, guys. Bring the energy, bring the questions, bring the wins. Let's go, man.
And guys, I know one topic on there about the wins. I am going to go ahead and post a copy of my notes up this week on the Facebook group for you guys. So you did come through and post a lot of your wins last week, and I appreciate you guys for doing that.
Yep.
I see my guy Nick Mobley joining us on here. I see Ulysses on there. What's up, Ben? Good to see all your guys' smiling faces. Who's got a win? Who's got something that's holding them back? Who's got something they want to kind of talk about today? Again, this webinar is for you guys. So let me know and let Alex know what we can do to help you and help you guys hit your goals.
Well, it's cracking, guys. Anybody got some pressing issues?
All right, I'll go first. What's going on, guys? Just wanted to say, hope everyone's doing well. I think the only thing I can say that's so important is you're never going to know what's going to happen the next day unless you take action. The deal I got with Alex was just by taking action, and I went a little far as like quitting my job, but I just needed that little boost, and I was just out there that week and saw the wholesale deal, and we got it locked up. So I think just taking daily action and just sticking with it. A lot of people will go months without getting anything and they start getting down, but if you just keep applying your the things we're taught daily, you will get something. I mean, in sales, we always learn, like, literally the worst salesperson will always get a deal if they just keep applying themselves and they're out there daily. So just being out there, being on this call is so important. There's so many great people on this call, and it's weekly for free. It's a pretty cool program to have. So just want to say thanks, Alex and Will, for running a great program.
You got it, man. I'm looking forward. This Palm Springs deal is going to do well.
Guys, I love what Nick said there. Again, just that small little bit, which is taking the consistent action. And again, I still have my 9 to 5. So I get it. Not everybody has to take that massive leap of hey, I'm going to quit my job today, make this happen. But just saying, like, hey, I'm going to be the guy that goes driving for dollars every day. I'm going to be that guy that when I get home from my 9 to 5, every day I make 1 hour of phone calls. Like, again, I'll call you out. I know Ulysses is on the call, and that's what his situation is. I know he works at 9 to 5, and when he gets done, he usually gets home and makes that 1 hour of calls. And realize that that's going to limit how quickly you can scale your business and grow your business. But just putting in that consistent action really does put you, light years ahead of the next guy who isn't doing that. So, Nick, again, kudos to you for taking such a big step and, going all in. Can't wait to see, what your consistent action just kind of continues to bring and put on your doorstep.
Yep, absolutely. And I also want to highlight that Amari Zambrano, he's also a valued team member, tribe member, but he's been coming through for taking us from Riverside over to Marina Del Rey the other day, helping us with some Southgate stuff for the property here. But I mean, so much is just about showing up, you guys, just on a day-to-day basis. I know I'm talking about this, but there's just such a profound effect once it's like day in, day out, you're doing stuff, and it just compounds over time. And before you know it, you're getting the results you were searching for. But then that's why you got to keep kind of reaching higher, another goal, because if you put in the work, like eventually you'll get to that one. Oh, I want to get my first deal. Okay, well then once you get your first deal, what's next? I want to get my next deal. I want to get consistency. Oh, I want to get my first rental now. Oh, I already got this. And so always raising the bar is important. But yeah, I wanted to shout out Omari because I feel like he epitomizes that hustle, that grit, that just can-do attitude that you need in this business. And I see it with Will. I see it with Alex Ibarra, which is our team members, that they're not going to make excuses. They're just going to get the results. And so that's how I roll as well. Like, I mean, I either got the deal or I didn't. I either got the money to close on the deal or we didn't. Like, there's not a lot of gray areas there. It's that you got it done or you didn't. And so are you the type of person that's going to get it done, or is going to make excuses why you didn't get it done? Those are the two type of people that are out there. Be the first.
Again, Nick, thank you for sharing. I couldn't agree with you more. Sometimes you do hit that wall, where it's like, I've been working, I've been trying, I've been doing these efforts. Guys, I went 3 months without taking down our first deal. Alex was in Hawaii. We were having conversations like, hey man, do I need to come back to Hawaii from Hawaii? Do I need to be more active in LA and help you get these deals? And it was, no man, I think that the action has been there, the consistency has been there. A deal is going to come, and then the deals start coming. And again, it's that point of return where it's like, do I want to really hit that plateau and give back everything I did? No, I want to double down and say, hey, you know what? I got really close on a couple of those. If I keep doing those same actions, those same consistent actions, I should get closer and closer to getting the deal. So again, guys, it can go 3 months or more without taking one down.
And I'm so glad I didn't have to move back from Hawaii. Thank you, Will.
Yeah, it got you another couple months out there, right?
Yeah, well, I earned my way on there for a little bit longer. So what's up, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, this is an interactive thing. We don't have that much to present today. It's really just like what you guys got going on, anything cool, and any wins or anything that you guys want to share. Don't be shy.
Hey, Alex. Hey, Will. Can you hear me?
Who is that?
What's
this
up,
is
Scott?
Hey, how are you? My name's Scott. Hey, I've been
What's up?
listening for the last few weeks. Really appreciate these meetups. It just, to me, it just reaffirms everything, and just hearing you all talk just gets me excited about it. So again, I just really appreciate, like the previous speaker was talking about too. Action is everything. I was always kind of sitting on the sidelines and kept checking MLS and LoopNet, which is awful, but just always trying to for me, evaluate deals. Like I was just always trying to crunch the numbers. How can that work? How can it work? And I called up, finally took a lot of action. I started calling up all these property managers and just said, hey, I'm trying to invest, or what's going on. And one of them just got back to me and said, oh, I got an investor that they want to sell their 4 properties. So, that's what it's about. It's just you got to do something. And so I really appreciate the push, the motivation. Also went under contract on like 3 or 4 properties in the last few weeks, but once I crunched the numbers on those, it didn't really work. So, but I'm trying to take it to that next level. Whereas, how can I make it work? Is it raising rents? Is it trying to charge for washer and dryers? Is it whatever it is that can actually get it to where it's cash flowing? So just trying to get creative, and I appreciate all the information on here, because you hear about these little tidbits here and there, and it's like, oh, I could try that and I could do that. So keep pushing. That's what I'm trying to do, and hopefully one of these days we'll get together.
Are you buying a rental property? Are you buying a flip, or what are you working on?
I'm looking at everything right now, but I mean, not trying to spread myself too thin, but mainly multifamilies, single families. And I am looking at this property that I'm looking to flip. It's in North Carolina. It's a multifamily. It's a triplex, and the guy won't budge, but I just keep working on him. Eventually I'll get him to break.
So are you focusing mainly, are you in North Carolina, or are you virtual?
No, I'm San Diego, but I grew up all on the East Coast. So I know Florida, Atlanta, North Carolina really well. So I kind of always reach back to the areas that I know really well. So
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, thanks for tuning in. I think you made the point already, which is the fact that like, hey, you're going through a bit of a rut, or maybe just not getting stuff done, and then as you've been making offers, you got some stuff tied up, it didn't work out. But I think if you're able to get out deals that don't fit the numbers, that still gives you confidence that like, hey, I'm just going to stick to my numbers, and then you're just one offer away from getting your first, your next deal or your first deal. So keep taking action, man. Keep us updated. Love it.
Yeah, well, definitely, I definitely want to reach out to you and Will and just kind of see what's going on. I mean, I'm all over the MLS and like I said, made some offers and stuff, but I just feel like it's so inflated right now. You got to find deals that are outside the MLS. It's just the numbers they're asking for, not for me, everything, nothing cash flows, it's just everything is like $200, $300, $400, $500 underwater every month. And I'm not going to take that deal.
And you mean MLS in what state?
Mostly all up and down the East Coast, but I'm also looking in San Diego too. But the prices here are just, I mean, I get the automated things for the multifamilies in San Diego, and every day I get I get an update that the properties I'm looking at, they're all dropping their prices $100,000 because they know they're too inflated to sell. The numbers just don't work. So San Diego's, I'm seeing prices drop all over the place, and I'm looking in like Jacksonville, Florida, and Atlanta. And even there, I'm seeing the prices drop now too for the multis. So,
and then do you have a system to review the deals, like a calculator, or do you use Bigger Pockets, or how do you analyze numbers?
Yeah, I have a spreadsheet, gives me cash on cash and ROI, NOI, and all the numbers that we're looking at.
Okay. Yeah, I've been hearing. We started doing some research this week on the multifamily purchases out of state, and Jacksonville came up as I've been doing a lot of talking to some of my network in the San Antonio, just looking to see what's out there right now. But everybody seems to say the same thing. Like, things are so high right now; they're so inflated. It's crazy. But also, again, the financing's at a crazy low too. So if you're going to hold on to something and you get a relatively decent deal, it could work out in the long term, because you have to factor in that you should get some tax benefits and other stuff if you buy right. If you buy a property at a decent deal and you hold on to it for a really long time, getting the absolute best discount isn't the most important thing in that scenario, because you're not going to sell that property likely, at least if it's going to be a hold. So because imagine having financing double in the next year or two. Well, then that's also going to affect the demand, but then you get the property at a lower price, but then you're paying much higher financing costs. So just something to consider that we're constantly looking at too, that there's some really cheap money out there right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think you keep hearing about inflation's going to jump, and so you got to think that the housing prices are going to go up a lot more too. So trying to factor that into when I'm analyzing these deals.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else got a win to share or anything that anyone want to talk about, or insights, ideas, or recent transactions that blew up on them?
So I took some actions this week, which was a big leap for me. Was I hired one VA. Their first day was on Monday to cold call for me. I was in a group call with some people from the Pineda rookie chat or group that we have. We have our own separate group, and we meet every Monday. And one of the guys called me out because I said, when I get a deal from here, I'll double down and hire more. He's like, just do it now. And I was like, damn, okay. So that day I messaged the guy and I hired 2 more the next day. So I have 3 VAs now. It's been 3 days of them, of having them. So just already getting a lot of calls in, which is good. And I'm also still cold calling. So just kind of doubling and tripling down on everything I'm doing.
Awesome. I love that, Edward. If I could piggyback a little bit off that, it's hiring people. You guys can feel like it's daunting. Like there's oh man, how am I going to afford to hire somebody? But you don't have to look at it long term either. It could even be a test. Like you hire someone as a VA for part time for a month. I mean, that might be $300, and that's $300 that you're investing not only into like hiring someone, but your leadership skills and into your business. And these are like really good examples of like low cost but high potential return. What if that person provides that spark that you need to say, hey, this isn't that hard. Let me increase their hours. Or this person didn't work out, but you know what? I know what I don't want. Let me. That's gonna help me with the next person I hire. So there's an art and science to like hiring and recruiting people, and but you got to get started just like with deal making. Edward is saying like, hey, I hired a VA, now I got 2 VAs. Like just because 2-3 people that work for you, it doesn't mean that's going to cost an arm and a leg either. And it's really, really valuable experience because it's a lot less, it's not as hard as you might think. And then when you actually do it, you're like, whoa, man, I mean, this is a really good use of my money. Like I paid this person this much. I don't have to do this anymore. They're doing this. And then just these little clicks go off in your head. We're like, wow, like I could kind of scale this up. And I really don't want anybody on my team doing this. So that they're perfect for this and they need this job. So there's just such a win-win-win there under the right circumstances, and it'll help you grow. So just wanted to kind of highlight that. Good job, Edward.
Yeah, definitely. And it's sometimes needing that push. And realistically, if I get one deal, it'll cover 2 years of what I paid them. Like it's crazy. And sometimes it's kind of like if you trust in yourself and you're in this every week, you're doing your research, you're watching the videos, you're learning. It's if you trust yourself to do it and all you're missing is the deal, put your money where your mouth is how I look at it. Like I got challenged. That's why I doubled down. Someone called me out and I was like, all right, you're right. Let's do it. Screw it. Like they're right. They called me out and I was like, I can't even say anything. You're right. So I doubled down and I'll update you guys in a month or so, see how that goes.
All right.
Yeah. I'll add on to that for Edward. Just like I said earlier, like you never know what the next day is going to bring because that extra VA you had could call that extra person that could net a minimum, let's say like 20 grand just the next day, And so it's always so important just to take that constant action. And I wanted to add in social media. I saw Ilium, he's getting crushing it on his flip. All your guys' social media I see popping up and it's awesome. I learned touchless faucets or whatever from Daniel. That was pretty cool,
I like
cool
that video too. That was a great video.
His three things. I saw that. I was like, all right, now I got to get one of those added to the list. So I just love all your guys' social media stuff. It's cool to see you guys all ramping that up.
While we're giving shout outs, I like Irish shout out. I love your offer updates and what's going on. It's very cool seeing because I know how stressful being an agent myself. I know how stressful each part is for each buyer. So it's cool. You're kind of like bringing it to home and making it personal. I love it.
She'll get to the point where it's like, oh man, making offers like light work, or it's not even a big deal. Like I posted with the wire thing. When I used to send wires out, I'm like, I'm gonna lose this money. Everything's gonna go wrong. Oh my God, I was so stressed out about it. I take an extra day to wire the money because I wanted to hold on to it longer. And then now it's like, let's just get this done. Check. Okay, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Okay, send this wire, send this like that. And it's not like it gets easier. You just get better at dealing with like the stuff you're dealing with. And so shout out to Irish for that too, that you're making offers and sharing the journey.
And shout out everybody who is putting it on social media. I mean, I kid you not, like I called Camacho out the other day. I was like, bro, what is that video you're doing? Like I saw his face, I saw his property. I was like, this is incredible. It was, recording him while it was recording the property. So I think those are, sharing on social media is the easiest way to kind of get those other tidbits from other investors.
Yeah, I just wanted to share really quickly. Thank you guys for the shout out. But yeah, property came back. We're good. Got my appraisal. It appraised over. And so now I'm really just going to be hoping to close on the 30th, going to sign that. And just like what you said, Alex, I'm sure I'll be so scared wiring that money at the time of closing. But kind of next steps for me is really just to build the capital and pivot my career more into the real estate industry by September. So that's like a hard stop of like trying to pivot my like current career right now into public or out of accounting into real estate industry. So yeah, next steps for me. That's basically what I'll be focusing on for the next few months.
Nice. Good job, Irish.
Brings me back to when we had our special guest a couple of weeks ago, Jay Martin, on when Alex was down in Mexico. Like, Edward, what would you be doing with your time if you had $1 trillion? I'd be hiring more VAs to get me more leads to keep doing more deals. Well, why aren't you doing it now? Okay, let's do it now. Irish, what would you be doing if you had $1 trillion? Well, I'd be working on getting myself more involved in real estate. Okay, why aren't you doing that right now? Okay, I need to do that. Like, I love that. And that's that mindset that he kind of instilled in me as well, which is like, what could I be doing better today to make my future goal happen quicker? And making offers, boom, that's the way to do it. Hiring a VA to get more deals and more opportunities in the pipeline, boom, that's another way to do it. So love that you guys shared both of those. Those are huge wins.
Hey guys, I'd like to, oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I saw your hand up there in the corner. I wasn't sure if you had something to share or what.
Yeah, for sure, man. How you guys doing? I don't know if you guys remember, about a month ago, I had mentioned that I had reached out to the seller who I purchased my fourplex from on any deals that she had going on. So 1 month later now, she reached out, she called me and she's like, hey, I want to sell 3 of these properties I have going on. And I mentioned to her about seller finances. All 3 of them are paid off. She was not too intrigued into the idea, but she did say that she's willing to work with me on the down payment. She wants to finance a down payment for me to go in and not to have eliminate that down payment for me to go in and then do the traditional financing, which I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on, see what you guys think about that. What's best approach on possibly landing a deal with her. The properties that she mentioned, they look pretty solid. I'm gonna go check them out possibly in a couple of weeks. But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on, coming in with no down payments.
The first thing that comes to mind is like I think you need to talk to the loan officer with the conventional financing and say, hey, the seller is willing to do a carryback. Help me out with part of the down payment.
That's what it's called, carryback. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a seller carryback. Like, okay, you buy it for $500,000. They allow you to like only give them $450, and then you owe them $50,000, right? I mean, that's kind of like how that's kind of what it's. What are the numbers looking like though? Like, it's something like that where she's like, okay, well, you won't have to put as much down, but then she's gonna still get her price.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So she told me I won't do the seller financing, but I'm willing to work with you so that way you don't have no cash to fund the down payment, and you could pay it back to me within a year or 2.
Yeah. So you just talk to your lender about it. Like, hey, bro, like I got the seller. It's kind of a unique situation. I'm working with them directly. They're able to finance some of the down payment, do a seller carryback. What are the guidelines for that? What lenders do we need to send my loan to that are willing to accept something like that?
Okay.
And then just, and then I get all the details from him, and then do a little bit more research on it. I haven't done it that way, but I know a couple of people are doing that in commercial lending, but not residential that much. So I can't give you too much information, but I just definitely think that your lender is going to have to help you pull that off.
Okay. So is it so I guess it goes by case depending on the lender if they do.
Well,
this type
keep
of
in mind, most lenders don't want you to like put no money, no skin into the game. Even like for first-time home buyer, you're having to put 3.5% down. So if you're not gonna put any money to the deal, or you have to structure in a way it looks like you're putting money into the deal, then I think you need help from a savvy mortgage broker that has experienced that before, because that way you could buy the property and essentially have no money to deal and acquire it. She gets her price, and then you get really cheap financing because it's conventional, and then you pay her off in a year or 2 once you refinance, and the property value maybe changes if you increase the income and or have to do a value add.
Got it. My next question is, she mentioned she wants to get a couple of the properties out of her hand. How would you approach it if you want to be like, hey, can you work out a deal with me if I get 2 of the properties? What's your approach on that? Any advice on that?
I think it comes down to the motivation. I mean, just package a deal, just package a deal. It sounds like she's like, she said no to the seller finance. She has multiple properties. Like, I would try to pay, really probe and see which one's her headache property, which one is the one she is really motivated in selling. And then, or if there's a couple in there that are, there's always, when you have a portfolio, there's always the bottom 10%, right? So maybe you're trying to, buy her problem properties or bottom 10%, and then she can give you some type of a decent deal. But I don't know what the values are over there. She's not willing to do seller finance. So essentially, I think you just need to look at which ones she's going to sell, or how many of them she wants to sell. But it just doesn't seem like there's a super strong motivation, or, a lot of times with these landlords. I mean, they're sitting on a lot of cash, a lot of equity, a lot of cash flow. Like they're not really stressed out, and there's no like real demotivation unless there's a problem with the tenants or the property.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, and the other part she mentioned, she could sell it with the tenant, without tenant, and she's kind of leaving it up to me, and just want to get you guys' thoughts on that as well, on from your experience.
Are you in a tenant friendly or landlord friendly state?
It's more of a tenant friendly state.
So in that situation, like in California and Hawaii, which both of those markets that we're in, we try to get everything we can vacant because it's really hard to get them out or relocate them, or it's costly. So my preference is to get something vacant. But a lot of times we get good deals because we buy occupied. So it's like kind of.
So that's what she mentioned actually too. She said, "I'll give you a discount on the property if you get it with the tenant that's in there."
In those scenarios, I usually will pad, at least for me here in California or Hawaii, at least $10,000 a unit for relocation or additional money cost for holding it longer to do, an eviction or, a formal kind of, like getting them out and notice vacate and all that. But it just needs to make sense because the money is going to cost you something. So just calculate what your money costs are, and then how long it would take to relocate them. I try to avoid a couple classes though, like of people or type of people, which is like people that are they're paying significantly low rent. So if it's like maybe the market rent's $2,000 and then they're paying like 800, like those are the people I kind of try to avoid a little bit because those are the hardest to get out. And in California and Hawaii, you almost can't get them out. So you could buy something and then you could never fully get that high, value to either refinance or to flip it or whatever you want to do with it because they're paying such a low amount of rent and that's tied to the value of the property. So just try to, I would say avoid those ones that are paying like half or less than the current market rate. They're part of the protected classes like, elderly or disabled or, a family with a lot of minor children, stuff like that. I just kind of avoid because it's gonna be a headache to like either relocate them or pay them a lot of money. But everybody else is kind of within like, within bounds of what I would do. And a lot of times when I do take on tenants, bro, like I try to have a longer escrow, like 30 days or, at least 3 weeks. And during that entire time, if I can be in conversation with those tenants, see where they're at with their mindset and, all that's helped us in many deals. As a matter of fact, that the Joshua Tree property that we just closed on, we had a 2-3 week escrow, and my partner on the deal, who was out there talking to the tenant, he was a non-cooperative tenant, and we got him out within a week of closing on a property simply because we're in escrow. And you do got to kind of get permission from the seller and or kind of like you have to do it a certain way because every state's different, every transaction is different. But for us, that's been very effective to like start the negotiations right when you already got an accepted contract, rather than waiting until you close on the property when it comes to tenants, try to get them out and relocate them.
Gotcha. Last part. So this will be an off-market deal. She's actually a realtor as well, so I know she's gonna use her license for it to pocket, the transaction. Any advice on how to kind of go about that? I think she might want to play both sides on it too.
Well, I think in those scenarios, you just got to play it like, hey, like a little bit more direct. Like, you don't have to play, I'm not like we play games or anything like that, but like the whole song and dance or, the whole sales process isn't as applicable because you're dealing with another shark in a sense. Kind of, you're just like, and you have to go in there like, hey, it's business to business. It's almost not like business to customer. When I'm buying a house from a distressed seller, that's different when I'm buying a house from a seasoned agent. Like those are different conversations. So I think you could be more direct. I think you do talk more about the numbers. I think you could be, more on that level compared to like, the more emotional type of sales process you're dealing with when you're talking to homeowners directly. I don't know. What do you think?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, again, just think of what position they're in, right? If they're the agent and they're looking to dual end the deal, what ways can you come into alignment with that? Well, that's probably why she's willing to help you out with some terms, is you're helping her out with the term. So just kind of see, hey, what terms are most important to you? And, if you were to get rid of some of those terms, like what would be the ones that you'd be first to negotiate, right?
Yeah, and don't assume because they have a license that they're the savviest investor. We've talked about this before on webinars. There's dozens and there's a lot of agents that never buy investment property, that don't even know the numbers on the flip. don't know numbers on rentals. So don't, just because she owns like a rental or two, don't assume she's like the most savviest, the biggest, investor out there either. And I'm not saying that you are, but I bought a property from a retired landlord that was previously a licensed agent, and it was one of the best deals I've ever bought. But he bought it at a good time, and he was just a tired landlord, and he had other properties. So like there wasn't the fact that he had a real estate license in the past or recently, he didn't renew it, never really came up. I saw it a little bit during the transaction. I'm like, hey, this guy is actually licensed, but he's just not using it. It's not active, but it was still current, but just like not actively parked with another broker. But they never really came up. So don't also think that because someone's licensed, like they're going to be the harsh negotiation either. You're still looking for the same thing, the numbers to work, and that there's true motivation for them to sell the property, and there's a problem or something that you could resolve. Still the same.
Gotcha. And then when it comes to the inspection and appraisal part, how can I, be able to show her that I'm serious about it, but then, hey, if it's inspection or something comes below, I want to be able to back out of it if it's not working in my favor.
Yeah, I would just cross that bridge when you get to it and put in a sufficient inspection clause in there. Just say, I just want to make sure what I'm buying. You're an agent, you know that. And you have a contractor inspect it. And I don't worry about something until I have new information, and then I address it. So you saying, hey, how am I going to negotiate this deal? And if something comes up, like that hasn't come up yet. So why are you worrying about it? Why are you even talking about it? Have a plan when that happens, but don't like assume that it's going to happen or worry about it beforehand.
Oh, man, appreciate it.
You got it, man. And you see, is that John? It sounds like that's John.
Yeah, that's John Savalos.
Okay, he always has a lot of questions, and you see how specific, but you see how specific his questions are, and they're based off of action and live deals, live prospects. You see how his questions are different than somebody just, oh, what about this? He's asking very specific questions.
Thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate it.
You got you, bro. You're doing the work, dog.
Trying.
All right, who's next? What's up, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, deal makers.
I got one.
Oh, let's go.
Just want to thank each one of you, and especially Will and Alex, just for sharing all your learning, your knowledge, and it's just gold for me. I'm just really learning a lot. So thank you.
Thanks, Deborah.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to let you know that probably about 10 months ago, I reached out to Alex and I asked him for help on the scope of work. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah. You did. You just like sent me an example of yours, because I was just starting to partner with a new flip partner. And so that just sold this last week, and we got 90,000 over asking. And wow. Yeah. And so basically what I was doing, because I work a 9 to 5, I work like 50 hours a week. So I couldn't be too much involved in that. But my strategy was to be more of the money side person. So what I did was I used my HELOC off of my primary house. And just to give you an example of the numbers, I invested about $160,000 into it. We also used hard money. We used hard money and then my HELOC money. And it only cost me about $4,500 in interest. So that's going to come off of my profits. But so that just happened, and that was about a 10-month flip. And the reason it took so long was because about 4.5 months was for permitting. I'm up here in Seattle, and some of that was during COVID. So structural permitting was about 4 months. So otherwise, that was a big win. Also, my son and I are partnering on a duplex down in Seguin, Texas, outside of San Antonio. And this whole thing has just been a complete nightmare learning process. I can't even tell you. It's just a very simple rehab that we're trying to do. And I will tell you, the one thing we've learned is permitting is just the big questionable thing that can just throw a loop in your timeline and your contractors. I mean, we've had that orange notice on our door for 2 months, and this little tiny town of Seguin, I don't know what their problem is, but we finally just got the inspector out here last week, and just for a bunch of little piddly things. But I don't know what your trick is, Alex, for the inspectors to get out there, but man, talked about throwing a wrench in your timeline.
Yeah, I had that problem with the Paramount property, and we've talked a lot about that, and it was a lot of headaches there. We haven't had, thankfully, so far on this property here on Southgate, the same problem, but there's just like there's really no magic formula to it because you're dealing with a variety of cities and municipalities and different departments within these cities, and they're just inefficient and dealing with like a lot of red tape and bureaucracy. Really, all the building and safety department send you over to the planning department. They don't really communicate. So the best advice I can give you is just to be politely persistent, constantly, to be in front of them, to have your ducks in a row. Don't take it lightly because you already see it now. The way things are going, there's the way they're going to continue. So you gotta be there like that. The squeaky wheel gets the oil type of thing, but just still being polite and positive because like being mean or hostile really it's not gonna get you anywhere. And then like sometimes you just, hey, maybe you don't do deals in that area again. Like for me with Paramount, I'd probably still go back and do the same deal, but I'd probably have a little bit more project management on hand for that. Because like a lot of it was like my partner and I, neither of us had the time to be going back and forth with the city like every single day or every other day. Like, we don't have that time. And so because we didn't, it cost us more time. We should have made it, but neither, both of us are, getting deals and working on other stuff. And we can't be at the city of Paramount like every single day. That's interesting you bring up Seguin because that name came up recently because I've started looking to like finding some more rentals this year. And San Antonio has come up quite a lot. And then one of my friends that invests out there was looking at a deal in New Braunfels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is also,
it's just a lot. Is exploding.
So I'm looking at deals in New Braunfels, and then now Seguin maybe, is Seguin different than, it's a different town along that same corridor?
Yeah, it's a straight shot. I think it's like 15, 20 minutes away, but after talking to multiple people and the contractor, they all say Seguin is a nightmare as far as permitting. It's just a nightmare. They're very, very, very slow, and they just make all these excuses why they're not getting out there. But New Braunfels is exploding. My son Sean is in San Antonio, and so if you need anything done in San Antonio, he's right there. He's on the MLS every day.
Okay. I'm gonna go out there to San Antonio sometime in the next 60 days or sooner. I have a buddy out there that has 130 doors. Will and I were talking to him on the phone, and the majority of his portfolio is in Airbnbs, and the majority of it is in downtown. And check this out. He bought a laundromat because he got all the Airbnb units. So like they're having to turn over all these sheets and linens and all that. Yeah. I was like blown away. Like, bro, you bought a laandramat for your Airbnb rental business? Like, wow. So just stuff like that.
You know why the Airbnb is really good there in San Antonio is because they have such a huge medical center, and a lot of people fly in to go to medical appointments there.
Well, see you guys, we learn something new every single day. Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah.
I got to talk to your son then. If you don't mind, you have my info, just send me his number or make an introduction. I'd love to chat with him.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Alex, can I ask you a question before we wrap up?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So I posted on Facebook this week. I had a win. I got in touch with one of the investors. Shout out to you and Jay for letting me leverage your network a little bit. And I talked to Anthony Michael, who is his hashtag's like the military investor. He said he knows you pretty well. So he's starting up a real estate school here in Florida, and it's a $5,000 buy-in, and then you do 5 flips with the program. And it's $30,000 to $50,000 that you got to bring to the program to finance those. And then the equity is the first one you get they get 70% equity and you get 30. The next one it's 60-40, the next one 50-50, and it keeps going. I watched the joint venture webinar that we had. I rewatched it to just like before I spoke with him to just ask some more questions. Their minimum profit is $60,000, and then I was just wondering of any other questions that you would ask or anything that you would think about before
I
getting
would
involved.
want to talk to other students that have successfully gone through the program from A to Z, because I am more of a fan of like, hey, deal by deal basis in those scenarios. But with the structure and someone that's already very successful, that seems like a reasonable buy-in. I can't say I don't like the structure. Like, hey, getting on the first deal, they're getting a little bit more. That's fine, and then as long as you're learning the whole thing. But I think I would just want to have examples of other students and be able to talk to them and see how willing they are to share those people's information and what those people sound like in interviewing them. Like, it's like going to look at a contractor's work. He could tell you everything, and show you everything, on pictures. But what if it's nothing like walking one of his projects and seeing that, or calling one of his, people that he worked with or other investors that he's worked with and seeing what they have to say about him. And same thing with vetting out, people that are going to be working with you, calling, and their previous employers and seeing what they have to say about them. So I think it's just like trust but verify. That's what I would recommend. Verify as much as you can before you step over that. But sounds like it's a decent structure. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
What part of Florida are you mainly working on and going to be investing in?
Tampa Bay. So Tampa and St. Pete. Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be working on what specifically? Like you're looking at buy some rentals and then, or what's your kind of strategy look like?
Yeah. So in the long run, I'd like to do more buy and holds. Like I have 4 doors right now. I think I'm going to need I want some flipping experience. I think it's going to help with capital to help long-term. So I was thinking maybe flip 2, keep 1, and work on that way, especially after talking to Tony a little bit. I think that's a good idea. So that's the plan.
Yeah, I know a pretty big flipper out there. You know Mike Rodriguez?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. So I will do an introduction. He's actually coming to Maui, Hawaii for vacation with his girlfriend next week. So I'm gonna go to hang with him. So let's get you introduced with him. He's in Tampa. He's just I met him at a wholesaling conference like 2 years ago, and he's just a beast. He's great. He's always in San Diego with his girlfriend. I think has family there. But I thought about investing out in Tampa as well, because I went and visited Tampa for that wholesaling course back 2 years ago. And I just seemed like I had a incredible amount of potential. So I want you to connect with Mike because he's a very, very active flipper. So maybe there's a way you guys can help. He can help you out. You can help him.
That would be amazing. And then Tony also mentioned you might be out in Miami sometime soon. So let me know. I'll come get you from the airport, or we can go to lunch or something.
Yeah, we got to hit up. I got to get out there to Florida. I have a huge network out there, and I'm thinking about investing out there. I don't know if it's going to be. It's weird. It's because I like the warm weather. I like being able to go to the beach. So like it fits those things. I prefer to buy rental property that maybe like I could go out there into that state. Maybe not that exact city, but to that state, and just business and pleasure. You guys know how I roll. So I'll definitely. But I like Tampa. When I went to Tampa, it was a great city. We went to Clearwater. I didn't get a chance to go to St. Pete's, but I have a friend that's running a kind of a resort down there in St. Pete, so I can go down there. Just check it all out. I mean, I love to get to know other cities, and if they're growing. Miami seems a little bit saturated for me, to be honest. Like I'm just another LA. Like why would I want to do deals like in my south part of Florida? I guess is where I'm at right now. But let's stay in touch, and then I'm going to put you together with Mike, and then we'll go from there.
Hey guys, I'm actually in Miami as well. So if you guys come down here, I'll meet you guys up in Tampa or whatever. I'm down to meet up.
I'm on the phone.
It's Jonathan.
Oh, you're in Miami?
Yeah, I'm down in Miami. I've been here since March. But yeah, I'm down to meet up with you guys. Take a drive up to Tampa.
Permanently, or where are you?
I'm down here until the office tells us we come back to work.
Let's go. I was in Mexico until the office told me to come back home too.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been here since March. It's cool, man. I needed to change the environment. So, but yeah, I'm like I said, Meg, I will connect. If you guys have something up in Tampa, I'll make a drive up there or meet some halfway.
All right, my man. Well, thank you for letting us know. I have to continue to enjoy South Florida. What's up, guys? What else we got? Oh, already at 4 o'clock. Well, at least West Coast. We're wrapping things up. Yo, Will, what's up?
Man, wrapping things up. I mean, I always love these, open house networking ones because you get to learn so much about other people in the room. Like I learned stuff about Deborah and her son doing deals in San Antonio, which is, again, it just furthers the alignment because we were literally just talking about doing deals in San Antonio today. And we would have never known that, if we didn't have these kind of opportunities to open up. So guys, we do one of these once a month. And, if you were a little bit quiet today on this one, my challenge to you would be find something for next week or next month when we do this that you would want to bring to the table and get some help on. I know Jonathan had a couple of very specific questions that he was able to get very specific answers to today. And, hopefully those are questions that other people in the room are also having come up, because again, it helps us, provide feedback for you guys on the stuff that you directly need help with. And that's ultimately what we're here for.
Yeah, and I want to add one more thing. Will, thank you. So my biggest strength to you guys is my network and my experience in deal acquisition. I have other things. Mindset is there too in lifestyle design, but mainly network and deal acquisition strategies is my bread and butter. So anything you need in that area, just lean on me, because I can't read your mind on what you need help with, and nobody in this room or in this meeting can do that either. So again, ask for the help that you need, you guys, because that's going to help you take action. You'll get the help. All right.
Anybody got else any something quick they want to kind of take us home with before we close up shop? And again, guys, do keep an eye out. I am going to share a copy of my notes from the mastermind, and I think next week we're probably going to do a mastermind recap where we just kind of really dive in to what Alex and I were able to learn at this last mastermind, what our biggest takeaways were, what are some of the things that you guys can directly implement into your businesses, to kind of continue to scale. And I'll tell you, man, the craziest thing I took from that mastermind is how many people were in that group that we had met 2 or 3 masterminds ago that are that much closer to hitting that goal. I think, Ryan Pineda, our coach, does 100 flips a year, and there are multiple people in that room that are already sniffing 30 to 60 flips this year at the halfway point, that very well could hit that 100 goal by the end of it. So keep an eye out, guys. I am going to put together my notes, and I'll go ahead and put those online. And Annie, to your question, will we ever put together a mastermind of our own? Stay tuned. Probably coming in the works.
It's in the works.
So thanks again, guys. We appreciate you all tuning in, everybody who tunes in week after week. Again, we're getting better. You guys are getting better, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right, guys. See ya. Go crush it.
See ya. Bye-bye.